Okay. If anyone still wants to have their name put on the Daytona Monument, I have the forms here. If any of them are filled out and turned back in today, your name will be on for Bike Week. Dick Clampeth can still have them put on until today or tomorrow is the end of turning the names into him. So if you're interested in doing that, we talked about it before, but here's the forms for it. All right, I'd like to ask Al Bourne to read the minutes of the January 2nd, 2010 meeting. Is that?
What date?
That's wrong.
7th.
January 7th.
Okay. January 7th, 2010 minutes of the POG meeting held at KTM USA. How can I see my papers? The attendees were Jack and John Penton, Paul Danig, James, Jeff, and John Bourne, Randy Kirkbride, Jerry Prokoskis, Greg Troyan, Alan Buhner, Dane Neinbach, Paul Busey, Joe Novak, Al Bourne, Al Martin, Ollie Martin, Scott Brogan, and Doug Wolford. President Danig called the meeting to order at 7:10 p.m. Chicago Jerry reported that ARMRA has their 2010 schedule set and that the election results should be available shortly after January 15th. He also stated that there will be a motocross and a cross-country at Mountain Fest this year near Morgantown, West Virginia, as well as at Road America. Jerry also reported that their off-road banquet will be held at Diamond Don's in Texas. Al Bourne read the minutes of the December 10th, 2009 POG meeting, and James Bourne made a motion to accept the minutes as read, and Scott Brogan seconded the motion, and the motion carried. Doug Wilford gave the membership report that showed 3 new members, 38 renewals, 6 being for 2 years, 1 for 3 years, 4 for 5 years, and 2 were military, leaving 411 active members. Alan Buhner gave the financial report showing a cash checking account balance of $6,205.42 and a money market account balance of $13,273.33 as of 12/31/09. Alan stated that February 20th will be the deadline for receiving articles for the spring newsletter that will feature articles about the POG Family Night and the Penton Day at the AMA meeting. There was no website report as Bill Smith did not attend. Someone reported that his sled runners had rusted.
I have 7 sleds in the van and I can't use the still on them. That's what the sign said. Yeah.
John Gore gave the eBay report as follows. A Penton decal from the 51st ISDT had 22 bids for $38. A set of new old stock Wassel side panels had 1 bid for $38. A new old stock spares for a Wassel including speedometer, throttle, choke, and clutch cables, brake pedal, muffler clamp, steering stem nut, front motor mount, and front axle nut, 90-degree petcock fittings, and a set of chain adjusters had 1 bid for $60. 3 Penton sales brochures had 3 bids for $35.76, and a new Wassel exhaust header had 1 bid for $60. Also, a used set of Marzocchi shocks had 2 bids for $75. A Sachs piston rings, bearing clips, wrist pin had 14 bids for $102.50. And a used 1976 Penton MC5 gas tank had 1 bid for $150. A set of new Magura levers had 7 bids for $172.50. A used set of 13-inch Seriani shocks with chrome covers sold for $359. And a used 1978 KTM MC5 gas tank had 4 bids for $250. For show and tell, Jeff Gore had an antique trunk full of goodies from his barn, including a set of high-point shoulder pads, an engine side cover from a 1930 model's NSU, a new old stock NSU Super Fox toolbox cover, a badge from the front end of a Volkswagen van, some carbide for a light, Continental shoe covers, a high-point kidney belt, a BMW speedometer, and a can of Magura cable oil. Also an old stock motoplot, a bag of miscellaneous levers, an NSU throttle, an engine stethoscope, 1969 motorcycle license plate, part of a small Sachs engine, a rear fender carrier for a bicycle, an electrical side cover for a Honda 50, a tire repair kit, an NSU gas cap, spark plug tester, small can of NSU paint, and a Bosch motorcycle horn. He also had an antique retractable cigarette lighter, a small can with spare chain links, a Pella tail light, fender flap, and a large police helmet. I may have missed a few items as there was a lot of conversation going on about the items, and Jeff was very soft-spoken. Jeff chose Jack Penton to do show and tell at the next meeting. We discussed Penton Day at the AMA, and Paul will see that we have lighting, mics, seating, and so forth. The museum opens at 9, and our business meeting will begin at whatever time we get there. Everyone is asked to bring their Penton motorcycles to display out in the garage area, and we may possibly put a few inside. Buhner's Office Supply will be providing pizza for lunch. Kip Kern and Forstall will be holding a seminar on engines, and Dane will be holding one on ignition systems. A discussion was held concerning our yearly donation to the museum, and James Board made a motion that was seconded by John Board to donate $500 to the museum in honor of Mrs. Pat Leinbach, and all were in favor of the motion. Scott Brogan stated that the 2010 shirts should be available by February meeting. Under old business, Paul spoke about articles in the Moto Retro magazine about Tom White's museum that has some Penton motorcycles in it. It was noted that the editor, Mitch Beam, may be doing an interview with John in the future. We discussed the International Motorcycle Show that will be held at the Cleveland Ag Center at the end of this month, where we will have a display. Under new business, it was mentioned that Burns Street is recovering from surgery, and that Bud Green will be having surgery soon. Paul brought some large poster-sized photos of John Penton, Dave Monernes, Leroy Winters, Bud Green with Eric Trumpenpulse at his home in 1969. We all signed in, and we'll be sending one to Vern and Bud. Discussion was held about a possible get-together at the Matthias Raceway sometime in the early spring. Paul informed us that Will Stoner had to cancel the swap meet that was scheduled on February 7th due to his hip surgery, and that Will has offered us space for a Penton display at a swap meet at Road America in June. Jack stated that Alan Rant wants John to come to the Jack Pine Enduro on July 25th and possibly bring the NSU that he used to ride as now owned by Jeff Gord. There will be a special effort made to have some Penton riders there for that event. Jack also mentioned